Hey guys, it's Spencer or Mensum Corlium. Today, I just want to make a very straightforward video because I think everyone needs to hear this, and I think a lot of people for a while have felt the same way in on those days. But you know, I fucked it up. But anyways, today I just want to say that the people that you have considered friends, but just friends in general, they are not as important as you think they are compared to family and such like that. I mean, family's the same way, but in general, friends, a lot of friends are not shit. I would say 100% of friends would even not be shit either. In this world that we call life, I think that we are all really on our own and we just have friends we just have friends or acquaintances, and we only really just have them just so we can get something out of them, just so we can climb a ladder and get up. Fucking stupid car out there. But so recently I had a thing where today was a UFC night, and me and some friends often come, but I'm usually the person who's always never included, despite being a friend or part of the boys, some bullshit like that. And they've been doing that for a long time. I ever since ever since high school, the start of high school, I have never really had a group that I would consider actual friends. I feel like everything has just been orbiter. It's like I was only there just for their use, just so they can feel happy in their day, and they would never include me in anything. And that fucking pissed me off for a while. And back then, I was like a bit bigger, I was a bit overweight, and like I was a bit ugly too. I had a bunch of shit, I was like all fucked up. So for a while, I just thought, well, maybe I should just change myself, and eventually, I worked out a bunch, got to this. I mean, I look okay. I think I look normal, but still didn't work. I don't know what it was. Like, I didn't, like, I had the same kind of humor as they did. I at least tried to mimic it, because it just felt like you had to force yourself to be friends with these people. You just can't really be yourself around anybody or your friends. And that's like another point I'm gonna go to later about why friends aren't shit. um but yeah, those friends, it feels awful being around them because you have to fake yourself every time. You can't really be real with them because then they're going to exclude you more and isolate you from the world and from any social interaction, and they're the only source. And if you have social anxiety, I mean, I don't know if I would consider myself having social anxiety. I just think I'm always just been a social retard, and I just don't like talking to individuals now that, there's not really anybody else that's any different. They're just a different flavor of the same bullshit, just the same coating of chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry and pistachio, but in the middle, shit, or it's nothing. In some cases, it's always nothing. That's even worse than just getting shit covered chocolate or something, right? Um, I need some water. But yeah, second case point, like, you know, it's like they're trying to it's like they're trying to use each other. It's like a weird fucking like society primal instinct of like you have to get better than the other person, a higher up on whatever. And that's like the whole friend thing. It's the illusion that you're gonna have a team, but you don't really have a team. You know. Fuck, I'm trying to think of what else I could say. Because, I don't know, I'm just so angry, but you can't put into words. If anyone knows what that is, feel free to tell me in the comments. All right, I'm back, guys. I just had to get some water, but like more fucking waters. All right, guys, I'm back. So I kind of thought about it now after getting water, but what I also want to mention is online friends because they're a interesting category of friends to have because they aren't physical. These aren't physical friends you have. These are friends you have over the internet where you're speaking to, and I'd still qualify them as actual friends. In a weird way, I would say a lot of online friends have actually been better than IRL friends, which I fucking deal with this shit all the time. Where it seems like they just want to isolate me further, and I know that's like crazy to think, but I genuinely think all my IRL friends just actually fucking hate me and they don't want me around, or they're. It's like fate is making them not be with me, you know. But anyways, online friends, I took in that cope too. That online friends are different. They're more understanding and trustworthy and whatnot. Which is usually not the case. You can bring up grooming and like other stupid whatever. But I actually want to bring in like the fact that they are no different than those IRL friends that you have. They too like have a need to feel better or a thing to get something out of you. They don't care about you. They don't care what you think or anything. They just want shit out of you. They want to feel love. They want to get your fucking dirty pictures. They want to talk about themselves all the time. They like they vent, but then when you actually say, "Hey guys, like my life fucking sucks," you know, I'm like lonely. Like I don't know, you could like see some like stuff about you, but they don't care. They only want to like yap at you, but you don't want to, but they don't want to listen to you. You know, and I just see that as useless. And I just had that earlier today of both worlds. So UFC night was supposed to happen where I get invited, and my friends always hang out IRL, like IRL friends always hang out. And just like always, I never got invited. I never like they never think about me. It's so weird. Even though I always tell them to and it's like really rare. And today I was like asking, "Hey, I heard something's happening today." And I was hoping, like, "Hey, is there anything happening?" Keep in mind, my best friend in the whole world who I message, because he's at least the only closest friend IRL I have. And he's like, "Oh man, I'm just beat. I'm just beat today, man. It's all a rough day. I'm not gonna do anything." I'm like, oh, okay. I'm assuming they're not gonna do anything. Hours later, I see posts by them where they're all together, even that guy who's in the dumps, in the beat. And this is like one of the fucking millions of times that these people have straight up lied to me. And that made me fucking pissed off. So I was like, well, I'm taking in the red pill that IRL friends are bad, but the online friends are better. That cope. So then I take that cope pill, and yet again, I have fallen down the bridge again. They're bullshit too. I tried talking, I tried adding on to the conversation. I actually said stuff that was actually interesting, actually added on to it, and relevant too. And they're like, "Oh man, shut up. Fuck you." Keep in mind, my actual, like, these are like actual friends I have. Like, I speak to them a lot. Because, I mean, well, who else do you speak to when your own IRL friends, like, disregard you? So then I end up just not speaking to them. They sort of like, and I just get angry. I just leave. And I just sit there and I realize, you know, you only really just got yourself, you know? And that's the thing. I've like had a bad history with online friends too. It really made me like remember that shit more and just really think in depth and then also think about IRL friends and just know that they're just two sides of the coin, you know? Heads is IRL, tails is online, you know? And I know some people have realized that. And I've kind of been in the ups and downs of believing it or not. But yeah, it's, it's awful to take in. It really is awful to take in, just knowing that you really only have yourself. You are your best friend. You are your only friend, really. I mean, who knows you better? Only yourself. And I don't even think, and even some people might say that's like a narcissist or self-centered thing. It's like, I mean, really think about this. Has everyone really done everything for you? Have they? Even partners. I'm going to even bring in partners, like relationships too. Because guess what? Every relationship, no matter what, ends. It always ends. It always breaks up or whatever happens. And don't go all. And some of you who are like, oh, I've been in a relationship for 15 years. It's like, cool, buddy. Cool. 15 years you're with them. But it's going to break up. It's going to end eventually. Don't act like you're so perfect. Who knows? Maybe that 15th year is your last year. Or they die. That happens too. And I don't hate on you guys a lot. Because, I don't know, whatever. I don't even want to get into a conversation about it. You get the point. It's like you really only have yourself. You really only have yourself to go for. You can't really trust anybody with your secrets. You can't really trust anybody with keeping any loyalty because they're just going to do some shit, And now at this point, I was always kind of iffy up and down about this idea for a while. Like I really didn't want to believe it, right? I mean, who would want to believe that they can only trust yourself but not anybody else? So I kept on having that where I'd have really good days, so I'd think, oh yeah, all friends are good, bad days, really bad. But in reality, it's like when I try to connect everything together of how they've treated me throughout this timeline, I have never been treated that well, ever. I've only done stuff for them just so they can be happy. Never anything for me, though. I never get anything. I don't get any recognition. I don't get any help. I don't get paid. Not even paid. I don't even get money. And I pay for shit for them. I don't show up anything, any functions, anything. Nothing. Nothing at all. I'm even excluded from pictures, believe it or not. And it feels like shit. It feels like I'm not even there. I'm just something for them to use. And I know for a fact other people have felt the same. And for a while when that was happening, I really tried to find better people to come and connect with. I tried to find other friend groups, from people I'm kind of acquaintances to friends, a bit, to try to connect and have a new friend group. I've had that thing before when I had a bad online friendship. Sucked ass because the guys were fat fucks and mentally ill pieces of shit. I try to get to new friends, realize they suck, move to a next one. But now it's just they're all gonna suck. They're all awful. They're all even the ones that seem like they're the perfect ones, some shit's gonna happen where they become so insufferable to be around. They're just gonna be awful, and they just treat me like fucking awful, just lower than dirt. And I'm tired. I'm actually tired of this. So for a while, I just found about just straight up not having any friends, just not helping anybody, just not help anybody with fucking anything, except if it's my parents, obviously, right? Because you can't, you need that inheritance money anyways, or whatever they give you. But plus they're your parents, you can't just fucking do that, unless they're abusive. But and it was also, and it was such a big thick pill to consume, just something hard just to take in. But dude, serious, friends are just nothing. They're not gonna help you. They're just they're just there to suck you. There's parasites. That's what I would consider. And And sure, I might consider some of you guys, if you guys are even subscribers, to be quote unquote friends. But I can't even trust you guys. I can't really trust anybody. You know, and I'm going to keep that clear. I feel like for the rest of my life, I'm just going to live in isolation. And even though it's going to feel awful, you're just not talking to anybody because of societal pressures that, ooh, if you're lonely, it's bad. Ooh, lonely people are dangerous. Ooh. Which is simply not true. Just being lonely, you know, you feel at peace. You feel, because in a weird way, when you just have that feeling because of societal pressure that you have to have friends and you have to hang out all the time, or you have to hang out with them today, you know, I kind of do that with sometimes, and I just feel kind of dead inside because I feel like I'm never being involved, or they're never involving me, or I don't feel like I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be a ghost, you know? And, you know, and society's awful for doing that. I don't know why it was so bad that people could just be lonely. Because really, being alone, you're just peaceful with yourself and your own thoughts sometimes, depending on what happens, you know? Like, I can just sit down, I can just say what I want, think what I want, just relax, not have to do so much shit all the time. I can just watch what I want, I can play whatever I want, drink whatever I want too. Like, I have a fucking Monster or whatever. Just, you know? And I feel like that's the best part about being alone. And that's why we just never leave being alone. Why I don't. I mean, that's like one of the main reasons. I mean, there's other two, like the fact that my friends are shit, and there's no way for me to actually connect with any fucking person, really. I just have to fake it. So it only seems like the only way to like have friends and then look like the normal person in this world, you just have to fake yourself so much. You have to fake all your emotions just to have friends. You just have to fake it. And it's awful because eventually you're going to break and you're going to go berserk. You're going to hurting everyone that is around you. And just that happening, it's awful. It's just pain. It's pain in general. And last time I would have considered having a real friendship where it's like something, you know, healthy. It's like the idea of one that yourself around them you can connect, which is like never any friendships ever. But back then, when you're like a kid, it really does feel like I gotta drink water. I'm sorry. Like I said, when you're a kid, you know, you can just truly be yourself when you're that age. If it really does feel like what an actual friendship is, you know, you make those great memories, and those are really the only memories I even care or even remember about. Like, everything else has just been forgetful, except maybe a few cases, but in general, those are like the true friendship. That is the only true time that friendship happens, or having friends, according to normal people definitions. You know, and because of that, I just haven't been able to be happy for like nearly 5 years at this point, because last time I would have considered that to be a real friendship was back in like 2019 or like early 2020. But, you know, and like, because I had to like be with online friends and they sucked, and then I tried to connect back and I realized I just cannot connect with anybody. I couldn't connect to online friends, and I couldn't connect to real life friends. But I was so gullible and so fucking stupid, I couldn't realize that you just can't connect with anybody. They're just in their own fucking worlds, you know. they just treat everything. They think of every action you do, and they fucking criticize it to all end. That you have to be fucking. It's awful. You know, and that's why I don't mind being lonely in the future. That's why I just don't mind just staying in my house, like with a remote job or whatever, you know, make good money, because I already know what field I'm going into. I'm going into some fucking like finance or mathematical field, something like that, quant, whatever. I mean, I'm good at math, so that's why I'm going in there. But my school grades have been kind of going down because I just haven't been caring at this point. So much things just haven't mattered to me at all. And all I'm hoping is that I can just live that perfect lonely life where I can just sit, you know, just not interact with anything, just stay alone, just be happy. Because I feel like that's just the real way of life. Just, you know, and that's, so like my conclusion really, this video is that you don't really need friends, because friends don't actually, or like what you call friends, don't really like make you happy. They only suck your time out and suck out like the life of you and all your, like your money and your possessions and everything. So if anything, it's just like a thing that makes everything goes down for you in a weird way, because you just can't connect to them either. You know, and you know for a fact that, because some people here are like social, like, I don't want to say the word, right? Because, you know, it's rude, but, you know, socially unaware, or people who are just socially stupid, like I am, apparently, is that you just can't connect with anybody. You can't really connect to friends, so there's no point in really having them, you know? So I just feel like I'm just being sucked out. I just feel hollow. I'm just around. But anyways, that's just the point I want to make. I don't know. I've been kind of ranting a lot. Some things I've said are kind of outlandish, and I'm sorry if, you know, some people kind of take some offense to it, because even I'm realizing the shit I'm saying. I'm just kind of angry at the moment, you know? I'm just like, But anyways, see you guys later. And yeah.